Birth rates are on a heavy decline, and that should scare you because we're going to have a generation of people going into retirement that are going to need services, that are going to need support systems, um, people to help take care of them. And that's just the way life has always been. Life always goes. So that's not the problem. The problem is there's not going to be enough people to serve those folks. And unless we start making massive amounts of money on an individual basis, we're not even going to be able to support them financially through, means of like Social Security either, because the replacement rate is negative. So we're going to have a huge influx of people in their senior years and not enough young people to support them. Also, it's an indication that fertility is down. Actually, I'm sorry, fertility is another issue that we're facing, and that should also be of concern, which I don't see enough people talking about. So basically, aside from environmental factors, there's a lot of things in our, in our food system, in our lived environments too, like our homes with chemicals and whatnot. But also, people are delaying having children, waiting until they're older. And even if you're a man, the common conception is misconception is that men can just have healthy offspring at any age. But there's more and more cases where an older man, let's say in his 40s or whatever, copulating with a young woman, and they end up having a kid with problems. And of course, I think the traditional misconception is that it's the women's problem, but honestly, it has to do with sperm quality, declining sperm quality. If if your little swimmers aren't swimming right, or they're being formed with dysfunctionally, then it's gonna result in a unhealthy, unfit offspring. So that's one thing that men and women too need to really consider in the future. Because, well, no, not consider in the future, consider now. You can't just delay having kids forever. It's been well known that women, as they age, their egg quality declines, and they have a harder and harder time have conceiving children, and then carrying those fetuses to full term. But same thing goes for men too. It really needs to be at the forefront of the discussion about sex education. And I feel like also we have these cultural effects. Basically, we're a generation of people that were scared into not having children because we were told to put our careers first, and that somehow having kids was going to ruin our chances of being successful in the future, which I guess is understandable because kids are a heavy, heavy investment. Like you have to put up a lot of money. I think I don't even know what the number is, but raising a kid from 0 to 18 until they're quote unquote adult, that's a whole nother discussion. But until they're quote unquote adult and ready to go and earn their own money and fend for themselves, it takes a lot of resources, a lot of your time, a lot of your attention. And so we were scared into this idea that you need to put your education and career first, and then just have kids later when you're older, right? And it's just exacerbating the problem and leading to more and more people being born with developmental issues. And it's not just developmental physically, but also mentally. And when you have those things combined, it results in people overall, generally speaking, just earning less in their lifetime. They just don't have the capacity to produce at a level that earlier generations had, which built this society into the great system that it is today. But that may be on the decline because of these factors, and it's just a compound effect on top of a compound effect. So let me just put it this way: almost every single millionaire and billionaire, which is, money's often the thing that we attribute to success. That's the marker and indication of success. So every millionaire, billionaire, almost every millionaire, billionaire, they had kids when they were young, and it didn't stop them. It didn't stop them from, uh, building a successful business or having a successful career. So where does this idea that if you have kids when you're too young, quote unquote too young, you're not going to make it in life? It just doesn't really make sense, and I think that it's just a dangerous self-feeding cycle that's just resulting in poorer and poorer quality society as the future draws on. So I encourage younger generations to let that uh, not let that influence or persuade you to delaying parenthood, and really consider having kids when you're strong, when you're healthy, when you're young, because your offspring are going to be generally healthier, stronger, and have longevity. Um, yeah, fertility, it's a big issue. I really hope that this video reaches people, especially young people, but older folks too, so that you can maybe relay the message to the young people in your life. And go read some books. Sicker, Fatter, Poorer is a great book. Countdown is another great book about these type of issues. And there's whole books. I mean, they've been talking about this stuff for decades already, but it's finally becoming a bigger, more mainstream issue, which is a good thing. But realistically, we had these warning signs for a very long time, and unfortunately, um, our system just failed in relaying that message to us. Why is this stuff not talked about in sex education? I don't know. But if I could change things, that would be the first discussion, um, along with STDs and whatnot. Yeah, STDs, STIs are scary, but so is infertility. So is this impending crisis that we have on our hands as a society with the replacement rate and declining birth rates. Okay? Peace.